An innocent girl accused of witchcraft by her own stepmother.
She's doing a good job with the
Why?
grinding. The rhythm
Because
is
she
just
had a
right.
rare gift, one the world didn't understand. Banished from her village, homeless, rejected, and wandering the streets. But destiny had not forgotten her. One day she crossed paths with a heartbroken billionaire whose only daughter had been crippled since birth. No doctor across the globe could heal her. But this homeless girl looked him in the eye and said one thing that shocked everyone. "Sir, I can make your daughter walk again." Chief Peter stood in his private gym staring at the treadmill. Beside him, Princess sat quietly in her custom wheelchair. 17 years old, legs complete, not a single scar or defect. And yet, she had never walked, not one step. "You don't have to push me, Daddy," she said softly. "I'm not pushing," he replied quickly. "I'm just trying." The gym was filled with equipment from Italy, machines that cost more than most families earned in a year. All useless. Doctors had flown in from London, Cape Town, Atlanta. The last specialist from Germany had said it bluntly. "Your daughter's condition defies science. Her muscles function. Her nerves respond, but she will never walk." In a different world, just hours outside the city, Kemi bent over a wooden mortar, pounding bitter leaves under the sun. Her fingers were stained green, her palms raw from work. She was only 16, but she looked older. Life had shaped her bones early. "Faster!" Mama Nkechi barked from inside the house. "Do you want to sleep without food?" Kemi didn't respond. She knew the routine: pound, sweep, wash, repeat. The more silent she stayed, the fewer slaps she received. Orphaned at 5, taken in by a stepmother who never hid her hatred. And worst of all, Kemi was different. She had a strange gift. Sick people came to her, sometimes by accident, sometimes whispered about. She would crush herbs, give instructions, and they got better. Rashes disappeared, pain stopped, fevers broke. But instead of praise, she got fear. "She's not normal," neighbors said. "Be careful. That girl sees things in her sleep." Once she healed a child who was choking. 2 days later, the boy's mother said Kemi used spirit water. From that day, she was labeled Witch Girl. Back in Banana Island, Chief Peter joined Princess for breakfast in silence. He watched her pick at a croissant without eating. "Would you like to go out tomorrow?" he asked. "Maybe the park?" She looked up, surprised. "Just to see other people running." His heart tightened. Every little reminder of what she couldn't do cut deeper. That same night, Kemi sat outside her stepmother's hut, staring at the sky. She hadn't eaten. Then it came. Not a dream. A vision. A man in a black suit, grief in his eyes, standing beside a girl in a wheelchair. In the vision, Kemi stood before them and said, "I can make her walk." Kemi gasped and opened her eyes. Her heart pounded. It wasn't just a dream. It felt like a command. "Mama," she called softly. "I saw someone. I think I'm supposed to help them." "What nonsense again?" Mama Nkechi snapped. "You want to wake up the spirits with your madness?" "I saw a girl who couldn't walk. I saw myself helping her." Mama Nkechi's face hardened. "So now you want to use your powers to charm rich people? You want to become madam overnight?" The slap came hard. "If I hear you mention that dream again, I'll bury you next to your dead mother." Kemi turned away. But deep inside, she knew something had started. The next morning, Kemi was washing clothes when a woman came running. "Kemi, you're the one that sees things. It's Chief Easy. He's sick, shaking, can't breathe well." Kemi's heart skipped. That name, that face. In her dream last week, she had seen Chief Easy clutching his chest. She told Mama Nkechi, immediately. "Mama, Chief Easy is going to die. I saw it. He needs to check his blood pressure. Mama and Kechi burst into laughter. You've started again. You want to kill the chief too? That evening, Chief Easy collapsed in his compound. By morning, he was dead. By noon, the whole village was buzzing. She predicted it. She's the one who said it. What kind of child sees death like that? A group of elders gathered. Mama Nkechi was summoned. She told them everything. How Kemi had dreams, how she healed people with plants, how animals behaved strangely around her. I'm afraid to live with her. I fear for my life, Mama Nkechi added with a dramatic gasp. By dusk, angry voices surrounded the house. Bring her out, she must go! Witch murderer! Kemi tried to explain. I didn't kill him, I only warned! But her words drowned in the chaos. Mama Nkechi opened the door and threw a torn bag at her. Leave my house, witch! Go and find your place among the spirits you talk to. Kemi didn't fight. She picked up her bag and walked away alone. Meanwhile, in Banana Island, Chief Peter parked his SUV outside the city's most luxurious children's park. He carried Princess gently into her wheelchair. She smiled, taking in the sound of children running, laughing, living. You look happy, he said. I am. Thank you for bringing me. He nodded, but deep inside his hope was dying. He didn't know that less than a mile away, a homeless girl had just risen from the ground and was walking toward fate. Kemi wandered from the market gate to a nearby shed. Her legs were weak. Her stomach burned with emptiness. People avoided her like a disease. She begged for leftover food from a roadside cellar. Leave this place. You want to use your witch eyes to poison my business? She found a piece of cardboard beside a closed provision store and laid her head down. Night was falling, but sleep didn't come. Instead, the vision came again, this time clearer. The man in the suit was standing in a garden. He looked exhausted. Then the girl in the wheelchair reached for him and Kemi stepped between them. Her voice in the vision was calm, powerful. You gave me food. Now I give you your daughter's legs. Kemi sat up, her heart pounding. It wasn't just a dream. It was direction. She stood, picked up her bag, and started walking toward the road. No plan, just faith. By morning, Kemi had made it to the edge of the city. She walked through areas she didn't know, following only instinct. Eventually, she reached a roundabout with a large fountain. In the distance, she saw children playing inside a fenced park. And beside a black SUV, she saw him. The man from her dream. He stood beside a wheelchair. The girl. The exact girl. Kemi's heart skipped. She wasn't ready. She looked like a beggar. But the voice in her chest said, Now. When the man turned toward his car, Kemi stepped forward. Their eyes met. He reached into his car, pulled out a food pack and a folded N10,000 note. Take, he said simply. Eat something. Kemi accepted it. Thank you, sir. He nodded and turned back to his car, but something inside her screamed, Say it! She took one bold step forward. Sir, she called out. He turned confused. I can make your daughter walk. Chief Peter froze. His hand was already on the car door. Princess sat in the back seat, quiet, watching. What did you just say? Chief Peter asked. Kemi stepped closer. Her voice was calm, steady. I said, I can make your daughter walk. The driver scoffed. Oga, this one dawn mad. She dawn chop craze finish. Chief Peter raised his hand to silence him. Come again, he said to Kemi. I know it sounds crazy, sir, but I saw her in my dream. I saw you. I was meant to meet you here. The silence was tense. You know my daughter? Chief Peter asked, slowly, suspicious. I've never seen her before today, but I saw her in my sleep. She was in a wheelchair.
Hair. You were crying. I was standing in your garden. That shook him. Just last night, Princess had described that same dream. Him crying, her standing, walking. Coincidence or something deeper?
Princess opened the car door slowly.
Daddy, she looks familiar. I think she was in my dream, too.
Now his heart started to race. This was too much. Two strangers. Same dream. If you're playing games, he started.
I'm not, she said. I don't want your money. I don't want anything. Just take me to your house.
Why? Because the solution is there in your garden. Chief Peter hesitated. Every part of him screamed that this was dangerous. But a smaller voice, one that sounded like faith, whispered,
What if it's real?
Princess spoke up.
Please, Daddy, just try.
Chief Peter opened the back door and gestured, Get in. The drive to Banana Island was quiet. When they reached the mansion, the guards at the gate looked stunned. She's with me, Chief Peter said. Let her in. As they entered the estate, Kemi's eyes widened. White marble walls, manicured lawns, 3 black SUVs, security cameras rotating from poles. She stepped down from the car quietly. You said something about my garden, Chief Peter said. Kemi nodded and pointed toward the back.
That way.
She walked across the lawn, past the fountain, past the trimmed hedges, then stopped near the corner of the fence. A low bush grew there. Kemi knelt down, touched the leaves gently, then pulled at the soil. She brought out a thick reddish root.
This is what will make her walk, she said.
Chief Peter frowned. A root? Yes, it grows in very few places. It strengthens dead nerves when cooked right. Your staff probably saw it every day and never knew. Are you saying herbs can do what medicine couldn't?
I'm saying faith can, she replied.
Princess wheeled closer.
It smells strong.
Kemi broke off a small piece and chewed it.
If it's poison, I would be dead by now.
Chief Peter looked torn. You want my daughter to eat this?
Only if you believe.
He turned to Princess. She looked him in the eye. I believe her. The mansion was in chaos. Chief Peter's personal doctor had been called. Everyone stared at the strange, ragged girl who now sat confidently at the center of the grand kitchen, boiling a thick root in a stainless pot. Sir, this is dangerous, the doctor said. We don't know what's in that thing. She already tasted it, Princess replied. She's fine. That means nothing, the doctor snapped. Every human body reacts differently. Princess said gently,
What if this is what we've been waiting for?
What if it isn't? He replied. Then we'll know we tried everything.
We've waited 17 years, Princess said. If we wait longer, I might lose the courage.
Half an hour later, the boiling was done. Kemi poured the thick brown liquid into a clean glass cup and placed it before Princess. Drink half now, the rest before bed. Princess reached for the cup. Everyone waited. Then she drank. No drama, no shaking, no foaming at the mouth. She placed the empty cup on the table. Everyone waited. 5 minutes. Nothing. 15 minutes. Still nothing. Then she yawned. I feel very sleepy. Chief Peter rushed to her. Are you okay? Are you dizzy? Heart beating fast? No, I just feel tired like I want to sleep. The doctor checked her pulse. Normal. Chief Peter helped her into her room himself, tucked her in, watched her sleep like he had watched her as a baby, but now his hands were shaking. That night, no one slept. Chief Peter checked her breathing every 30 minutes. At 3:47 a.m., she turned in her bed and mumbled something. "Princess?" He rushed in. She yawned again. "Still sleepy. Anything wrong?" "No, just dreaming a lot." "What did you see?" She paused. "I was in a field running. Then I looked back and you were smiling, but not sad smiling. Really smiling." By the second day, Princess was still asleep more than awake. The mansion grew quieter with each passing hour. She was stable, the doctor said. "Her blood pressure is fine. No sign of toxicity, but medically there's no explanation for this prolonged sleep." "Is she in danger?" Chief Peter asked. "No, but I can't explain what's happening either." Downstairs, Kemi sat alone under the large chandelier. One of the maids brought her rice and stew. They were warming up to her, but the stares remained. The suspicion, the silent judgment. On the third day, Chief Peter finally came downstairs. His eyes were sunken, his shirt untucked. "Still nothing," he said, voice low. Kemi nodded once. "It's not time yet. Give me something. A sign. A reason to believe." She looked at him directly. "Do you remember what you gave me the day we met?" He paused. "Food and 10,000 naira." "Exactly. You gave freely to someone the world ignored. No camera, no intention, just kindness. And that moment was your offering. You didn't know it, but your miracle began before I opened my mouth. You're looking for results, but faith doesn't start with outcomes. It starts with obedience." He swallowed hard. "You sound like a prophet." "I'm not." "Then who are you?" She smiled faintly. "A girl God didn't forget." That night something changed. Princess stirred restlessly in her sleep. She whispered things they couldn't understand. At one point she cried out softly, "Stop pushing me. Let me stand on my own." The next morning when Princess opened her eyes fully, she didn't speak. She stared at her legs for a long time. Then she looked at her father. "I feel different." Chief Peter moved closer. "Different how?" "My feet. They're warm." He dropped to his knees and touched them. They were. It had been 4 days since she drank the strange root mixture. 4 days of waiting, watching, hoping, and nothing. Chief Peter was beginning to think he had been fooled. At exactly 7:42 a.m., something happened. Princess opened her eyes and didn't just blink. She sat up quickly, breathing fast like someone waking from a heavy dream. "I need to stand," she whispered. The nurse in the room froze. "What?" Princess threw off her blanket. "Please, I need to stand." She didn't wait. She turned, shifted her legs over the side of the bed and lowered them to the cold marble floor. Her toes touched down first, then the sole of her foot, then her heel. For the first time in her life, her legs held her weight. The nurse gasped. "Jesus!" Princess rose slowly, her knees shaking, but she stood by herself. She wasn't dreaming. She wasn't falling. She was standing. And then, step by step, she walked to the door barefoot, unsteady, but real. Chief Peter heard the nurse screaming before he saw her. He ran toward the noise, heart pounding. Then he saw her walking toward him. "Daddy," she smiled, "I can walk." He dropped to his knees. His hands covered his face. For a long second he didn't move. Then he cried out loud, broken, overcome, "My God, my God!" He grabbed her, held her, kissed her face. "You're walking. You're walking." She laughed through her own tears. "I don't know how, but I can." Behind them, the mansion burst into noise. Maids screamed. Guards rushed to see. The doctor collapsed into a chair, whispering, "This isn't science." Outside, Kemi was still in the garden. She didn't flinch when Chief Peter ran toward her.
"She's walking," he said, breathless. "I know," Kemi replied calmly. He looked at her like he was seeing her for the first time. "You did it?" "No," she corrected. "You did." He stared at her. "Me? The day you gave me food without knowing who I was, that was the price. You paid it in kindness. You fed someone the world rejected and God remembered." His voice cracked. "How do I thank you?" "You don't have to." He turned to his guards. "Bring her new clothes, shoes, everything. Let her look like the queen she is." Later that evening, when the house was calmer, Chief Peter called her aside. "Kemi, I've spent millions, doctors, tales, prayers. Nothing worked. You changed my life, my daughter's life. Tell me what you want. A house, a car, 10 million, 20. She smiled gently. "Nothing." He blinked. "Nothing?" "I don't want anything. Not your money, not your house." "Then what do you want?" She paused, her voice low. "I want my name back." He frowned. "Your name?" "I was thrown out of my village, accused of witchcraft. People called me evil for a gift I didn't ask for. I want the world to know the truth. That I'm not a curse. I'm not a demon. I'm not a witch. I'm just a girl who helped." Chief Peter's eyes filled with tears again. "I swear to you, Kemi, I'll make the world know who you really are." She nodded. "That's all I want." 3 days later, Kemi stood on a polished stage in front of flashing cameras, dressed in a pale blue gown. Chief Peter stepped to the microphone. "For 17 years, I searched the world for a cure. I went to hospitals in South Africa, Switzerland, and the U.S. I paid every consultant, every specialist, every healer. Nothing worked." He paused, eyes damp. "But then I gave food to a girl at a park. A girl I didn't know. A girl the world had already thrown away." He turned to Kemi, then back to the cameras. "Her name is Kemi. She is not a witch. She is not cursed. She is not a fraud. She is a gift. This girl did what science could not. She gave me back my daughter. And all she asked in return was to be cleared of the lies the world pinned on her." Kemi approached the microphone. "Most of you don't know me, and maybe some of you don't believe what you've heard. That's okay. I've lived most of my life being doubted." She looked down for a second, then lifted her chin. "I didn't go to school. I didn't grow up in a mansion. I never saw my parents live long enough to explain why I am the way I am. All I know is people come to me sick, and sometimes somehow they leave better." She paused. "But instead of being called gifted, I was called a witch. They threw me out of my village. I begged for food. I slept near our market gutters. Nobody wanted to touch me. Nobody wanted to believe me. But Chief Peter believed enough to give me food when I was starving, and his kindness was the beginning of everything." She turned and looked directly at the cameras. "So to anyone who's ever been rejected, abandoned, labeled by fear, this is for you. You are not a curse. You are not invisible. And your voice matters." The crowd stood up. Some clapped. Some cried. Princess walked over and hugged Kemi tightly. Later that night, Chief Peter brought Kemi to the rooftop terrace of his home. "I've cleared your name in the press," he said, "but I want to do more. I want to sponsor your education. I want to build a foundation in your name, a center for gifted children who don't fit the world's mold. Let them find their voice, too." Kemi turned to him, stunned. "Why?" "Because when you healed my daughter, you also healed something in me." Tears filled her eyes, but she didn't let them fall. I don't want to be famous, she said. You won't be, but you will be free, respected, protected. She nodded slowly, and for the first time in her life, she believed she belonged somewhere. Back in the village, the same people who once spit at her name now gathered around radios and televisions. Isn't that the same Kemi that used to walk barefoot? She's the one that healed a billionaire's daughter. I always said that girl was special. Mama Nkechi sat alone on her porch, arms crossed, face blank. No one came to her compound. Shame is always loudest in the mouth of those who once shouted lies. Weeks passed. Kemi began classes in a private learning center. She lived in a modest apartment funded by Chief Peter's foundation. Princess visited her often. They became close like sisters. One day during a small outing, a child with a limp was brought to Kemi by a desperate mother. The woman knelt. Please, I heard what you did. Help us. Kemi looked at the boy, then knelt before him. She smiled. I'll try.